Hey there, welcome back. I'm Amanda, your life coach with Illumination Unlimited, and at long last, I am back with Brandon.
We're back. Hello.
We're back. And as I mentioned, if anybody's following me on TikTok, the topic of the video we're going to do this time, because it is relevant in our lives, is cohabitation, aka moving in together.
We did it. We made
We
it
did
happen.
it. We
got
we
through
we
it.
jumped the shark, or no,
That
but not
explains.
jump the shark like Happy Days.
Well, that
but
explains the absence of doing one of these. It's been a very busy couple of months. So
it has been
here we are.
a lot goes into moving.
It sure does.
Right. So, Brandon, now we both knew that our leases were coming up like around this summer. Like that was something for both of us. We had leases that were renewing close at the same time. So this was something we had discussed before. And now I heard tell on the blog that you have not actually lived with a woman before. Is this true?
No, yes, it's very true. I've been a loser for 39
Oh,
years.
no, trust me, no. As we discussed, it's not a loser if you are not in a situation where it's, I mean, like seriously, you didn't rush anything that wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I've dated.
Right,
It's never.
yeah.
I mean, it's just never felt like it
Mhm.
progressed to a point of moving in with somebody. But
And a lot of people live together that shouldn't, and
Right.
they jump into things too
I think, and I
fast.
think so. I think it feels good at the time
Uh-huh.
to make that decision, even
Absolutely.
whether they're ready to do it. I think people just dive head first, thinking this is what's gonna
Right.
advance, elevate our relationship, progress it. But I think we took stock of everything. I think
Mhm.
that's something we just didn't do. We made sure
Right.
we were ready to do it.
Exactly.
We felt we both were ready, and
Mhm.
we went ahead and went forward with it.
Absolutely,
So-
because like I say, it was a big deal. And you having not lived with anyone before, myself having obviously been widowed, and so a huge step to make the decision to cohabitate with somebody again. And I feel great about the decision. How are you feeling so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's been what I expected, which is
Mhm.
good. I mean, we're about
Exactly.
7 weeks into it, and
Right.
I mean, it's going about as well as you could hope for. I mean,
No,
and I didn't expect any different, to be honest with you.
and really,
So,
I didn't either. And as I wouldn't have been able to make this leap with you if I expected any different. And like say, we
I felt prepared. We've done. I
Mhm.
mean, we've up
Yeah.
to this point. I know you were going to ask me a little later on, but I just think there was just
Let's flow.
things we did. For me about you just kind of look at little indicators, and I think first big one for me was when not this past April. Last April we had our first big vacation. We went on trips, but we did the big week-long vacation to
Yes.
Key West, and that's just kind of a good barometer of where. I mean, how do you vacation together?
Mhm.
I mean, you're with each other 24. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you get along? It went about as well as I could hope for that one too,
Aw,
and
and
that
I
was like
had
my
that
first
thought
big
too.
test.
Yeah.
And as we got further along with our relationship, we were spending more days with each other and less time apart,
Mhm.
and the days, as soon as you would leave or I'd leave, you kind of feel that little emptiness in your stomach. And, you just kind of you just kind of look for the writing on the wall like that. And,
Exactly.
I mean, I don't feel like, okay, if we made the next step into moving together, it wouldn't be rushing. I think I'm to that
No.
point. And for me, that's big. I've never lived with a woman.
Yeah. That's huge.
And it sounds like not by choice, but partly it's been my choice too.
Well,
I just just
sure.
never got to that point. So
Right.
it's something I wasn't going to rush just for the sake of doing it.
And again,
because
that is
I'm 39. I need to
that's
live with
not a
somebody
bad thing,
finally.
because too many people do that, and then they find themselves in a living situation, which can be really hard to unravel, and realizing like, yeah, I rushed in too fast, and this isn't what I thought it was. And so that's just being smart. And so again, I'm very flattered.
So no, I wasn't like, it wasn't forcing or needing to settle, because I felt like I finally needed to make that next big jump in life. I still, hey, if I didn't see that all the signs were right to do that, I wouldn't have done it, and I would have gone in my 40s being a loser than ever lived with a woman.
And that would have been, I wouldn't just say again, not a loser at all. Because yeah, if you're happy by yourself, that's amazing, because that's something a lot of people can't accomplish. So, and you found a way to be happy and enjoy your life by yourself and be satisfied. And then that way, when somebody came into your life, it just added to that instead of.
And seeing both sides of the coin. I mean, I can tell you this is just a lot better. I enjoyed being single. I enjoyed even having my own place. But I mean, on the other side of the coin, this is way better. This is. I mean, I can get into all the reasons why, but I just feel a little more hopeful about it with life, and that's It's just going great. I
Yes,
love it.
I love it too. I
Hunt.
say we and
Hunt.
then we have the proper progression of our like we started out every other weekend is when we would get together, and it wouldn't even necessarily always be for the full weekend. And then we realized we started stretching it out for the full weekend. And then we started stretching it out for let's throw an extra day on there. And then eventually it got to where it was like most weekends. And we went from that to like this last winter. It was we were like almost like back and forth every other week at each other's house with just like short little breaks in between.
And
And
that was almost a day. And even again,
exactly. So you talk about getting to try it before you buy it. That was we were fortunate, and I feel like smart to do that and to let it progress that way, just where by
we
the time that
we all but lived together, even though we didn't have a place. I felt like
mm-hmm.
we were spending about the same amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
just short of living together. There would be a day separation maybe, but we were
Right.
there. We knew how it
And
would
again,
work. I mean,
it was
I
yeah.
think it passed the test for me. And it
Yes,
was
me
just
too.
it just felt it was time, and
Yes.
we beat the summer rush. I think
And
of trying to get into a place, and
so that having been in property management, I know too well. And just when because I started out maybe even like just looking for a place for myself, who knows? You know, we were just weighing all the different options, and even rent is expensive. It is crazy expensive. We happen to get very fortunate with finding a place in the area that it's a decent area. The neighbors are good, but it's not the highest high end because I've seen the rent in those places, and what we would have got would have been half the value for way more rent. And so the stars aligned as far as that went. But it definitely it's a tough time to move, anyways. Um, I'm glad we beat the rush on that because if we had had to wait much longer, like anybody trying to find a place now would
I
probably
mean that
be.
rent just goes exponentially
Oh
up.
yeah, and to say it doesn't look like that's going down anytime soon. So it was another one of those things. There's just all the signs pointed to yes. One of the biggest signs is every time I would leave your place, poor Teddy
Yeah.
would shake uncontrollably the whole way home. Like I think I might have even recorded her at some point and said it to you, like not to guilt trip you, but this is how the dog's taking
So
it.
all we just said is crap. We did it for the dog.
Well, that was the biggest. Let's
She's
be
12
honest.
years old. She was gonna
Could,
break down and
she
die.
couldn't take it anymore.
We had to bring our two homes together for her.
She could not. Yeah, I know. It was for the dog, and you know, and we're doing okay with it too now.
And we're buds
So
too, so I mean
yeah,
it's all working out.
yeah,
So.
yeah, exactly. So, but
Teddy was priority number one, and look, she's so much better.
well, if you ask her, that's what she thinks for sure anyway. But she's really happy. She absolutely loves it here. There's a backyard with a fence, and she can go sniffing around. And we have like a squirrel that I think maybe it used to live here. I'm not sure, but it tries to get in now and then. And
I mean, the he or she squirrel. I mean, she's just a secondary part of the family.
exactly.
I don't know if we're gonna quite let it in for dinner, but it's more than
If
welcome
it
to hang
keeps
around.
trying to come back, I'm thinking about opening the door and letting
Come
it
on, now,
in.
let's see what you do.
I know, right? Yeah, we got some cool
Just
nature
don't call
on.
Teddy. Don't give us rabies. We'll be cool. Sound is
Oh goodness, yeah, we have too much fun.
so.
Anyway, so another question I was going to ask you. So, just starting out, and I already know the answer to this, but what was one of the biggest challenges once we knew we're going to do it? We're pulling the trigger. We found a place. What was one of the biggest challenges?
Undoubtedly, I mean, it wasn't. Again, I already, for myself, being someone that never cohabitated with another female. Again, that was that anxiety, any nervousness about that was
Of
already
course,
alleviated because
yeah.
I didn't. But no, I'm saying that was already gone
Oh,
because
yeah.
I knew I was ready to make that jump. So I think the biggest for me at that point, once we decided we're going to go ahead and do it, was just okay. We got two adult homes, and we're going to have to condense this into one now.
Yes.
You know, we both had all the adult items to stock
Right.
each other's homes, and now we're doubling up on that.
Yeah,
so
dishes, furniture,
you name it. You
so.
see television. Well, it's not. We have a lot of televisions, and that's not a bad thing. I got a garage television now, which is fun to have. So
yeah, so yeah,
and admittedly, I got rid of a lot of stuff because she just had, quite frankly, just had better stuff suited for our home. And I mean, I was glad to do it. Stuff I didn't need. It was just stuff to furnish my place because I needed the stuff.
Yeah, and it was all great especially for a bachelor.
Oh yeah, and I kind of knew when I moved into my place several years ago that I'm probably going to be done with this when I leave here, whether I'm still by myself or I'm with somebody. This stuff is probably just going to be I'm donating. It's going to the trash. So, but there was a lot of stuff that we had to double up on, and there's some stuff we did keep that we just have two of. We have a backup, but we found room to store things that we didn't even know we got storage unit, just to kind of help ease the pressure off there. We're trying because we didn't want to turn the home into a storage unit. We didn't want a garage looking like that. We didn't want to look like hoarders. I didn't want to feel like hoarders. So we got a perfect size storage unit to keep the excess stuff. And we again, yeah, there was nervousness. I mean, we kind of we encountered things during the move that okay, how's this going to work? Well, yeah,
right, that you didn't even think
you
about
come well, you
before.
just come you just kind of take stock, come up with a plan, or do I need it, do I not, and you
Right.
work through it, and we did, we navigated that,
Hmm.
all of it.
And you communicate, you get, tension's going to rise here and there, when you need to, stop and take a breather and,
Right.
when you need to communicate and discuss something and just,
Oh, I'd pout too, and admittedly, I had one particular pouty episode. Oh, no, I don't get to keep anything. It's all your stuff. And then I saw how I thought. I mean, I figured how ridiculous that sounded because
well, no, it
uh,
did it, and I get the concern. Like, I wouldn't want to have somebody come along and tell me how to get rid of my stuff. And that's what I was telling you. Like, we can keep whatever yours and means
yeah, she
something to
did.
you,
You and the
because that's
stuff.
important. You don't.
The stuff that we ultimately kept, and that I did, that was like your bedroom set, your furniture. I mean, most of that was hers, and it just was better stuff. It just
Mhm.
was, and it,
But you had stuff that actually worked out really well, so like we were able to combine, so you didn't have to like get rid of everything.
right.
And
So that was just, I mean, for me, that was again that was issue number one. Just, I mean, again, just we had a lot of stuff. We were condensing two big homes into one, and just trying to figure out how to do with all that.
right.
Again, I talked about the little pouty episode of all my stuff. Like, it really was actually pretty easy. There was, I mean, things that seemed difficult. We talked
Right.
through it. We came up with a plan, and we moved
Exactly.
past it,
And it flowed
and then
nicely.
we again we figured out what we were going to do regarding whatever, I guess if you want to call it a hurdle at that time. Like, okay, so here's the plan, we got it done, lock it in. So
And it was nice. We're a good team, and I love that. I appreciate that so much. Like, and nobody's trying to dominate the other person. It seems like we just kind of get in there and start working together, and it all gets done. And that's the way to do it. It's one person, sorry,
yeah.
can't take over the whole operation, ladies or gentlemen, one way or another.
And going back to what I
Um,
said, my first big test, and I think for any couple, it's like when they go on a big vacation. You hear like that's a make or break thing for
yeah.
a lot of couples, and
Yep.
man, we did a whole week, and it
Hmm.
was pretty much seamless. I mean, I think just working together, and there's because
Right.
vacations give you a little challenges, and they throw some shit at you. But I
Right. They
mean,
always
and
we
we got through all that good. So that was like, okay, that's item number one for me. Am I ready
Mhm.
to ever move in with this girl, Amanda?
Yes.
I'm like, I
Aw.
think so.
And here we are. So yeah, I'm so glad. So yeah, you've definitely been just kind of like at the forefront of my life for this time, and I really appreciated having you there. And so like just having you every day, it's like, and we're not constantly up, down each other's throat. We're not constantly feeling like we have to crowd each other, because that's important. You want to have your space,
Absolutely,
especially if
yeah.
you're used to living alone. Like, that's where I always tell him, like, you feel free to like go do your thing, and I go do my thing sometimes. And
And again, this isn't all new to me. I mean, we're living under a roof. That's new. But
Mhm.
again, kind of going back to what we were spending pretty much most days with
Mhm.
each other. So I
Yeah, there
felt
was
like
no, yeah.
we already kind of tried
Mhm.
those waters. We tried all that out. It worked, and so this is really not much of a transition. Even like the
Right.
final act of living under one roof, it's. And I feel like we've been there doing it. So
Yeah.
it's about what I expected, and it's all
Yep.
been great. So
Yeah, it really has. So I've been really enjoying it. And I
I
appreciate
do more
you.
of that to her.
A lot of that. I get a lot of that.
You got to catch
That's
them by
good.
surprise too. You never let them know it's coming.
Yep.
So
Good ones.
it's been an A plus, and that's
Absolutely.
no lie. I mean, I don't
And
blow smoke. I'm not just saying that because we're on film. I mean,
same.
it's been good.
It has. Yeah, you're an amazing partner, and I
Likewise.
say, and we're just everything that we're doing. This is all part of it, and I love working with you, and
Thank you. Me too.
yeah,
Likewise.
I'm really loving doing life with you, and I appreciate you so much.
Likewise. So that's
Thank
where I'm
you.
at.
There we go. So, just kind of to sum it up, some advice if you are thinking about moving in with your significant other, some things to consider. Have you known each other very long? If it's only been a few months, like this is super gross, but this is I'm going to. Gives Josh some homage here when he talked about then when the farts start to come out from under the covers. You know exactly what that means. When you start to learn that this person that to you, especially right away, is perfect.
Yeah.
When you're like, maybe they're not so perfect, like nobody is. So you're going to find out, this and that along the way. It's like, if you haven't spent enough time together in the beginning, you haven't had a chance to
And hopefully,
let that start.
hopefully you've kind of let your guard down. Now, don't just fart all over your girl all the
Or
time.
no,
But
yeah.
but I mean, you do let your.
Literally or metaphorically.
I mean, if you haven't really let your guard down before you moved in, that's when you find, and it starts happening. They're starting to realize shit they didn't realize about you. You might be in trouble. So yeah,
Right. You want to make sure that and make sure the person knows what's important to know about you, what's important to know about living with you. It's not all going to be perfect, but really, like I said, there's been no deal breakers as far as the two as you go. So
I don't fart all the live long day. So that's a big. Hopefully
even
that.
if you did, you know what, I could still love you anyway.
You probably just push a doctor's visit. Like, it's come on, I can't be doing this all day. Are you trying to do this, or is there really something going wrong? Are you having something awful?
Right? Yeah. Or is it like a skunk thing? Are you trying to like get me to go away? Is it like a?
We have not hit that.
No,
I
let's
see
not go
no
there.
plans anytime soon.
I don't think so. I think we're on a good path.
Me too.
So anyway, if anybody has any questions that they would like to ask, feel free to do so in the comments. We can make more videos regarding this subject. Otherwise, now that we're all good and settled in, we do want to make it more of a priority to make sure that we're doing these videos regularly, at least once a week. And today, Brandon was the one that had the idea to do good. He's like, we didn't do the video this weekend, and we said we would. I was like, good point. So he likes doing them.
Got it done.
Pardon me. Anyway, so do you have anything else?
No, I'm good. I'm glad we got that under our belt after a couple months. We're pretty much settled in. So yeah, let's get more done.
Let's keep rocking and rolling. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Take care.